Hello everyone. In this video you are going to learn some advanced image elements like how to use image for list, how to use favicon, and then how to make images as clickable elements, and then figure and figure caption element. So first let's look at list marker, that is how to use an image for list or how to change the default list markers. So in CSS, to work with the list marker, there are three different properties: list style type, list style image, and list style position. So the list style, list hyphen style hyphen image, this one will help us to give an image as a list marker. You can see in the left side the image, you can see the leaf image. The leaf image is kept as the list marker. So if you want to keep some small images as list marker like this, then you have to use list style image as a property. Okay, and then list style type, this property will help you to use some other list markers other than the default bulletin. If you want to use the square or some other element, then you can use list style type. And then list style position is the property that will help you to mark the position of the list marker, whether it is inside. There are two values, inside or outside. Okay, whether you want to keep it inside or outside of the list. So if you want to know more about that, let's refer this website. So let's refer W3 School website to understand a little bit more about this list style properties. Okay, so the list style type, position, and image. So let's look at the list style image property first. You can see they have used the square. These are images. They have used the images with the URL. Okay, so with the URL, inside the URL square bracket, you have to specify the file name. These are file names and you are specifying the file name. So that for this, the property name is list style image. List style image. Okay, so next property, let's try this list style position. You can see list style position property can have two values. So if it is outside, then you can see the markers are completely outside the list. If you position it as inside, then it will be along with this the list content. Okay, so let me change this to inside. There are only two values, either it could be inside or outside. Okay, so you can just play along with this coding to understand how this list style positioning property will work. And then list style type, there are four values. Let me check. Oh, there are different values of that. You can see property values, disk, Armenian, circle, decimal, different values of that. Let me select this one. Okay, so let's try it in this portal. So instead of circle, I'm going to use the given value. So you can see how the list style type with this katakana works. Okay, so there are multiple values. You can just look at the W3 School website. There are numerous different styles that you can bring by using the list style type property. Okay, so you can give a try on these things. Let's move on to next content. So next content is favicon. Okay, so what is favicon? You might have noticed the small icon, okay, in the address bar, the tab. You might have noticed the small icons for each website. For example, you can see the W3 School website, you can see this icon. This is called favicon. Let's look at the Google favicon. You can see the small G, colorful G is the favicon. And let's look at Amazon, where you can see the small A is the favicon. Okay, so these are favicons. Let's see how to use favicons in your image. Okay, so to use favicon, you have to use link tag, like how you remember how you include CSS in your file by using link tag. You have to use the same link tag. And then inside the relative attribute, normally in CSS you'll be using style sheet, right? Here you have to use the value icon. Okay, icon is the value that you have to give inside relative RUL attribute. And then href should have the file name where you have kept this favicon image. The file name of the image should be there in href. And then you have to add one more attribute here, type attribute, where the value of the type attribute should be exactly this, image/x-icon. So it should be added in the link tag to attach and favicon to your tab address bar. Okay, so make sure that it should be small enough to be there. So you have to select an appropriate favicon image. Okay, so we'll practice these things in the lab practice. So the next thing that we are going to see is image maps. So image map is a HTML property that will make an image more dynamic, okay, more clickable or more selectable area, making an image as a more like if you click on a particular part of the image, then what will happen? It will do something like it can open a separate page, or it can be a clickable button to do something with other elements, like you can include JavaScript to make an image, and those kind of stuff are possible with the image map HTML element. Okay, so to use, this is the syntax for the image map element. You have to have the map tag. Okay, so opening map tag, closing map tag, and then inside this you will have area, like how you use the UL, like that UL and list element. Here you have to have a map element and area element. Okay, so the map element should have the use name attribute. Do you see the map element? So where in the image you will use an use map. Use map is the attribute. The use map value should be the same name as the map value. So map will have an attribute called name. Okay, so the value of the name attribute and the value of the use map attribute should be the same. You can see the work map is the value of the name attribute of the map. Okay, and you can see the use map has the same name with hash symbol, with hashtag. Okay, and then inside this map you can have the area elements. For each clickable area you have to use area element, area tag. The area tag can have these 4 attributes: the shape, what is the shape of the clickable area, whether you want to have the rectangle area or square area or circle area, you have to specify that in the same attribute. And the coordinate of the shape, like if you give the rectangle, then you have to give all the 4 corners of the rectangle. If you use square, you have to give the 4 corners of the square, those kind of stuff. The coordinate attribute, COORDS. And then alt attribute to give the text description of this particular element. And then href attribute if you want to open another page. For example, if you click this computer, you have to set some attribute here. Okay, so if you click that particular computer position, the coordinate position, you will give these 4 corners of the computer as the coordinate value, and you will say the rectangle. And then if you click this computer, what page you want to open, that page link, HTML or whatever it is, or if it is an image or if it is a page, you have to give that particular file name here in the href attribute. For example, here you can see this is the coffee, and you can say the circle position, and if you click the circle, you can make an image map here. If you click this circle, then it will open up another page regarding coffee. Or here you can see this is the phone element. If you click this phone element, this is another rectangle. You can set the coordinate position. If you click this phone element, then it will open up the another page. Okay, so let's explore it in W3 School website. So I have just opened it in W3 School website, image map. Okay, so I'm going to give a try. I'll just use the same image. You can see rectangle. If you click this rectangle button, then it will open up a computer. Okay, and then you can see there is a clickable area around this coffee. So if I'm clicking the coffee, then it will open up the coffee page. and then I'm refreshing the page, and if I click this, there is the clickable area around this phone as well. If I click this, then it will open up a folder. Okay, so these are different pages. You can either keep the pages or big images or whatever, but this is how the image map will work. And the last element that we are going to see is figure and figure caption element. Okay, so we have already seen like how we can use the image tag to display an image in the web page, but what is the purpose of using figure or figure caption element when we have the image element? So the image element is the inline element. That means it will just take the space what is needed. But figure is an black level display element. It will take the whole space, but it will give the semantic representation for the images. Okay, so if you don't want to use the div tag, if you want to give some semantic structure to your images, then you can go for the figure element, where it comes along with this additional figure caption element. Okay, so which is associated with the figure element. You can look at this image. This is the figure element, this is the figure caption element. You can just associate the caption along with the figure. Okay, so by using the figure and figure caption element, so you can work with just an image element, but this one will give more semantic representation, and moreover it is like totally independent of the workflow of the normal work. Even if you take off that figure element, it is not going to affect the display. Okay, so it's kind of independent element, but it will give more semantic representation for your images. Okay, so if you are going to display more images, it's for photo display or the album display, for those kind of pages, you can go with the figure element because it gives more control for customization. Okay, so if you want to know more about this inline and black, I told you image is the inline element and figure is the black level element. If you want to know more about this inline element and black level element, I have given you the reference website for this. You can see what are the black level elements, what are the black level elements in HTML. You can just have a look on. You are already familiar with many of the elements. You have already learned many of the elements. Okay, and then if you want to see the black level elements, sorry, inline elements and black level elements. This is the black level. Sorry, I'm clicking inline elements. You can see these are the inline elements of HTML. Okay, image. So you can see image is the inline element. Okay, so in this chapter you have learned many things about the images. See you in the next chapter. Thank you.